So, like, I heard that Smilegate nerfed the event because it was, like, really hard, and then people are, like, still complaining about it. Wait, what? Why are you guys so mad? Just, like, stop being poor. I am so... I can't believe I haven't actually seen that excuse yet. But either way, hey, we're here to talk about the Guild War. We're not here to talk about the event and all those shenanigans with imprints and all that other jazz. We'll talk about that later. So, Conqueror, Lilias, Rimuru, Mercedes. Okay, I have a go-to team for that every single time. Sinful Angelica goes first. She does the buffs. Then this leads into... Zahhak going. I go and do as much damage as humanly possible to Mercedes, hopefully kill her. We end up killing her many of the times that we try. Then Rimuru will then proc, go into Zahhak. He'll steal 2 buffs. He will not steal invincibility. Does no damage to Zahhak because his invincibility is up. And then he will go into Krau. This one has actually a lot of damage. So when he was in a Krau, he actually kills him. But like I said, you have Holy Sack for security. So the reason why we have that, we'll just go into Conqueror Lilias with Krau, and then we'll just pick off the remains. And it works pretty damn well. I have to recommend it. The only thing you have to be keeping in mind of is if the Rimuru, like, gets crit resist. It's the only thing you have to really even be mindful of. So, let's see here. Lilias, Senya, and a Choux. And once again, it is not speed-tuned. I am pretty much convinced at this point that this team will never be speed-tuned to have Senya go before the Lilias. I'm just convinced of that now. Like, nah, fuck it. We don't need greater attack buff to do more damage. Fuck that shit. Not important. So, instead, alright, I'm just going to go ahead and do what I was expecting to do here, and I cut it really, really close, because my Lone Crescent Bellona is not super, super thick. She's moderately thick, and she's on an injury set, so it can work out. But yeah, we go Mediator, Kawerik, Lone Crescent Bellona, and Roana. So we just took 3 pretty decent hits, and thankfully we were able to recover enough from it to where we can just go in as we please. So we did a nice big AoE effect with Lone Crescent Bellona that softened up Choux just a little bit. We also just went into... Let me see. Okay, so I didn't use the Mediator Kawerik S2 to go into the Senya, because I was like, I'm probably going to get resisted anyway. Let's just go into Choux, deal as much damage as possible. We also needed the barrier just in case we get countered. Something like that were to possibly happen. But either way, now that we've dealt with the Choux, this team's 100%, like, in the clear. Like, Choux is the only actual, like, thing that you need to be worrying about. Period. Just, and also straight up, like, Lethe just got released today. So, I don't know, Choux may be doing even more damage somewhat soon. I'm not sure how I feel about that yet because of the new artifact. It's kind of tailor-made, like, super, super good for Choux, so we might start seeing that on defense. I don't know if it will make enough of a difference to actually be a factor. It will be good, yes, but will it be good enough to justify having it as a best-in-slot artifact? That I don't know. I'm not a math person. Go ask any of the other people. Go ask any of the other, like, important people. I'm sure they'll have an answer for you, because I sure as hell ain't that. But either way, like I said, Choux's gone. Now all you have left is Senya. Senya's going to go into whoever's, like, the lowest HP, because we don't have a blue bait for this. Pretty much, yeah. Go into it as you see fit. And also, just, you know, to rub a little bit of salt in the wound, because we've already won this fight. Hey, looky there, Holy Sack. So, you're going to waste a little bit more of my time. But yeah, man, I don't know why so many, like, Lilias users are not speed-tuning the kit. Like, if it was me, I would make sure my Senya goes first, and then you steal the Gab, so that you would deal more damage. But maybe that's just not what people are running. But either way. So here comes the one team in particular that I was actually kind of worried about. I talked about this the last time. This is Mediator, Kawerik, Yulha, and Lone Crescent Bellona. I said how this can work and why I usually don't like to use it. The reason I don't like to use it is because going into I Winter Senya Choux, you're just taking an absurd amount of damage into your Yulha. Like, the damage is astronomical. Because we got hit once, it was kind of like a little baby hit, then we're going to get hit again. Now, the risk comes in the fact that I Winter herself does not do a lot of damage. She does a lot of additional damage. Now, that does not proc Malicious Smile, like the S2 effect whenever you're low on HP, to give yourself a barrier. Like, that's just a thing that you just straight up don't have. So, what ends up happening, which really helps us out, is when we go into this Choux to try and just deal as much damage as possible, because once again, this is a unit that just needs to die immediately, we get a counterattack. And with that counterattack, we manage to get an AoE from Lone Crescent off. And because Lone Crescent also gives herself CR boost, we're really high up on the CR bar. In fact, it's the next turn that we have. So we could kill the Choux now, or we could go into the other problematic unit, that is Winter. Because the next time Winter is going to go into my Yulha, if she were to do like an S3 or something like that, she would kill her. Thankfully, we didn't get killed by Choux shenanigans right there. And then we also had just enough fighting spirit on us to just go into her with another AoE. And right here, we're pretty much 100% in the clear. Like, the worst thing that can happen now is the Senya could go into my Lone Crescent, but I actually have Golden Rose on us, and we should be able to recover from any and all situations. Plus, we auto-crit, so we're going to do a shitload of damage. So, get ready for the White Rabbit beatdown. So, this is strictly me being punished for not respecting the Kayron. So this is Conqueror, Lilias, ae-KARINA, and Kayron. So I went into this with my happy little ass thinking, oh, okay, it's just Kayron. He's just going to go straight into my Roana, and then I'll tank it, and then I'll heal after this, and I'll be 100% good to go. Also, that Conqueror Lilias had a lot of effectiveness because she hit my Shuna. If she did not hit my Shuna, I probably still would have been okay, because just not having S2 or S3 right here was astronomical. Get ready for this shit. This is no attack buff, vigor only on a Roana. Holy fucking shit. So that's 15k. Then we got a drag of Kayron in again. If Conqueror Lilias did not drag in Kayron right there, I very well could have survived. Because if it was ae-KARINA and it was a miss, I could have healed from Vigilant Eye, and then the after effects of, like, a rocket punch would have hit me, and I don't think it would have killed me. So,
This is it.
and then once again, another drag of Kayron, bam, we've lost our healer. So at this point, I've actually conceded in my head to, like, okay, so we're not going to win. I'm going to see how far I can go, but I absolutely do not think I can win. In fact, I'm sacking my units out of sheer respect to this dude's Kayron, because I don't see this very often. I am more than willing to bet you anything that this Kayron has no effect resist. Because if that's the case, you can easily just, like, debuff it to death. Like, super simple. You can just control it. I'm 100% betting it has no F-res. So what I could have done to actually make this a lot more consistent, I could have actually brought Shadow Knight Pilis into this, because Shadow Knight Pilis just has a lot more survivability than Lionheart does. I just figured Lionheart would work because we're going into counters and stuff. But lo and behold, yeah, I got punished. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. So now we're going into Last Rider Krau, Senya, and was that Apocalypse Ravi? Yeah, it's Apocalypse Ravi. So I decided, okay, well, we're going into some multiple AoEs here. I'll bring ML Khawazu, Magic Scholar Doris, strictly to tank the Apocalypse Ravi, and then I'll also have Illynav with me just to nerf the ever-loving hell out of the LRK. So the Senya did not go in a time. Like, I was expecting the Senya to go at some point. Like, I don't know what I was thinking, because I was expecting, oh yeah, LRK will go, and then Senya will go, and then I'll just, like, go for it. But then I guess my brain just straight up forgot that ML Khawazu also has CR boost. So whenever, like, the AoE attack happens, he also jumps up on the CR bar, so he cuts. So that's pretty much where that plan went, because I was going to strip the Senya. But then I was just like, fuck it. I'll just go into her and deal as much damage as humanly possible. And then I got a really lucky Elbrus proc. The Elbrus proc was the Punish proc from Illynav, and then that just straight up deleted the Senya. So now we don't have to worry about Senya anymore. So now all we have to deal with is LRK and Apocalypse Ravi. So there is a mistake that occurs later on down the line. It's not a detrimental mistake to the effect of, oh fuck, I just lost a unit. It's not anything bad like that. It's more like you're kind of wasting the viewer's time. So what I'm doing is any chances that I have on Illynav, I'm going to go into LRK. because the injury buildup that you gain is huge. And here's where the mistake comes in. So here's LRK like S3. That's going to come in, and that's going to activate the ML Khawazu again. And that also is going to do significantly less damage because he's heavily injured. He's an HP scaling unit. So injury just utterly fucks him up bad. So here's the mistake. There was no reason to go into the LRK with the S3. No reason at all. Because, if anything, the LRK is just going to straight up die over time. What I should have done was just gone into the Apocalypse Ravi with the multi-burns, because then that would have just been more damage, and we more than likely would probably be done with the fight now. Like, right around now, we would probably already be done. But, lo and behold, we just have to go into it a little bit more. This probably wasted maybe 30 to 40 seconds, something like that. But once again, hey, if it gets you a win, it gets you a win. Everything's hunky-dory. But yeah, like, Illynav is one hell of a unit if you see an opportunity to use her. Because, like, the one real thing that can really stop her is anytime they're using a blue unit. And the only blue unit that's even really being focused, fired a lot on defense is ae-KARINA. So, with that said, oh hey, looky there, it's literally the first fight that we had at the very beginning of this Guild War. Quite literally the exact same thing is what I do. Because, yeah, I have Bastion of Hope on my Sinful. You're not going to stun her. You're not going to provoke her. You're not going to stop, like, the hell that's coming through. Just not going to happen. And even if you're in a situation where, like, let's say that you're fighting like a 250 speed Conqueror Lilias, okay? So then that would mean that the Sinful is going to go first. You're still okay. The reason why you're okay is because even if the Conqueror Lilias goes, you still have Zahhak. Zahhak also has a cleanse with his S2. You can use that to get rid of the attack down, and then you can go in with the S3. The only, I think, issue that ends up having is I think it shuffles your buffs. So I think if that happens, there is a risk that the Rimuru will steal invincibility from you. At least I think. I could be wrong on that. Please feel free to correct me. But, like, yeah, I didn't even need to really cover this because it's literally the first match. It's the exact same strategy. It works extremely effectively. So if you ever have any, like, real issues with Rimuru like that, Krau is one hell of an answer to it. I think if you were to rock, say, a revenge set, it would be much better on a Krau. I mean, I've always talked about this in the past. So, like, oh yeah, wouldn't you want to go on, say, Lifesteal or Revenge? I think Revenge is probably the best, even though, like, Speed is probably the easiest because everybody and their mother runs Wyvern. But either way, hey, that's enough of this conversation about the Guild Wars. So, hey, what's going on with the event and what's going on with Lethe? Well, basically, SG nerfed the ever-loving fuck out of the event. So, it's super, super easy. You probably already see videos on, like, how to do it without even using Lethe. Like, I straight up autoed it. But, like, I autoed the last one with Lethe because I'm a fucking shameless whale. Because that's just that's how I roll. but either way, I don't know. I don't know if everybody's still upset or people are still mad or whatever. It's like, hey, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Imprint event myself. It's more along the lines of it feels like they're not playing their game. Because if you look at the event, if you have an imprint for it, if you actually look at where you're supposed to place the unit, you place Lethe at the bottom row of it. Like, this is what's stupid to me. You place her there, but then one of the imprints isn't going to be going to someone else on the team. If you actually go look at the event for it, if you have imprints for it, you're wasting an imprint slot. It's so fucking stupid. It's like they're not even playing it. But, well, whatever. We didn't really talk about it much. There's really not much to talk about. But, hey, if you made it this far in this video, go ahead and leave me a like. It makes me feel oh so wonderful about myself. And if you want to see more of my content, go ahead and hit subscribe. I hope to see y'all again soon. Later.